Wow.
Yeah, y'all. We right back at it. This is Savage.
So this motherfucker won't take the trash out.
That is not
girl.
Wow,
girl. I don't think that's an Ice Cube
I don't
lyric.
think that's Ice Cube.
I feel like
Vanilla
that's
Ice. Was that Vanilla Ice?
no, that was Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
I thought it was Vanilla Ice.
Then you turned it into Ice Latte, is what you just did.
Oh well, I like a latte, but I like a mocha. I like a little mocha in my latte.
Hey y'all, this is Savage as Fuck right here on Marcus King
So
Presents
if there's any
Dash
mochas out there, I'm single again.
Comedy. I don't know where this metaphor is going.
I don't even know what's going on. Yo, what's going on? This is Shane.
This is Black Pedro, man.
And
We're
this
sitting
This
here.
is Jason Stewart. I'm going to take the trash out if I want to.
Also, make sure you follow us on social media. Go to the Facebook and check us out on Savage AF. Also on Instagram, Savage AF Radio. And make sure you follow and share, okay? You can also listen to us.
Share is on Broadway. That's right.
Yeah,
right
Hilarious.
How are you going to correlate everything to something that
because
is
it's on Broadway.
frivolously gay?
Yeah. Kanye West just got in trouble for
It's like-
texting during the show.
He did.
He was sitting
Okay.
there.
I
That
saw
was the
that.
biggest thing.
I tweeted him about it. Said,
Yeah,
hey,
that's all anybody cared about. Now, who cares if Cher was on her whole career? The Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys. No one cared. Just
You
about
ain't
Kanye
gonna,
West.
you ain't gonna correlate everything to fucking share. I'm not gonna let you.
You
I'm
can
just not gonna
turn
fucking let you.
back time.
All right.
You can
Hilarious.
take the trash out.
No, and also
We're gonna figure out Jason's medication mix
and-
here
no,
and
no.
try and regulate that.
Also, he's stupid. Make sure-
We
I
are-
can't believe
we-
that there's a song that has that lyric in it.
He's talking about arresting the fucking president.
It's
The guy you
about
hate,
the
right? You hate
Yes,
Donald
I
Trump.
didn't
So-
hear that. How is he going to do that with the trash in his hand?
He's the Donald Trump is the trash. It's metaphor,
Oh, it's a
Jason.
metaphor.
Rap is it's poetry, man.
Oh, my
We're not
God.
just yelling
Well, look,
malt
like-
light shit. Okay, there's a fucking thing behind it.
Newports.
I do like Ice-T. He's on Law and Order, right?
On one of those.
I
yeah.
like his
Law and
voice.
Order,
and everything.
SVU.
I just
SVU.
can't stand Jay-Z's voice. It's too whiny.
Is it?
What?
It's just whiny to me.
Well, especially
Jay-Z's
on-
voice is not whiny.
I'm not
You're
whiny
fucking
at all.
tripping.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm
No,
not.
no, Jay-Z's voice is not whiny.
It is to me.
Not
Talks
at all.
like this.
I think
and
you're
he
getting
says
confused
that-
with Gay-Z, not Jay-Z.
Yes.
No, there is no Gay-Z because I.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, well, I don't do that. You guys are you're making me a target.
No, I'm not. Yo,
Take what you guys take the
now
trash
check this out. We got in the building for our guest today. We got the immaculate. Yes, I'll say immaculate.
Do I look immaculate?
Yes, you look good.
You do.
Yeah, you look good.
This
Well,
shit
we're
got
both single now.
sensitive.
You look
for it.
good. You look good.
He looked at Shag and said, "We're both single now."
No,
We can go out and get some bitches.
no. I love Jason, but I love Jason. I can't help it. I'm a vaginitarian and always have been.
That's right.
And I don't do vagina because I'm just not a vagina person. I
Right.
don't munch the carpet.
But we got Jason Stewart in the building. We also have Rube and Paul. Make sure you check out Rube. I call him
Tomorrow
Rube.
night?
I've known Rube a long time. That's why I say Rube.
Tomorrow
You can
night.
check him out tonight.
Tonight.
No, it's tonight.
Tonight.
Live in Hollywood.
Hollywood Laugh Factory,
9:30.
9:30.
World famous Laugh Factory.
Hottest show in the city.
Ruby
man.
Ruby
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Got a hotline up. Some of the comics actually that are on Dash
Yes.
will be in
We'll
the
be there.
building.
Yeah.
Ida Rodriguez.
Ada Rodriguez will be there. We've had Jason
Collins.
on the show.
Yeah.
We've had him on the show. It's going to be a real hot show. Make sure y'all go down there and check it out and hit up Rube if you want to get on his guest list, right?
Yeah, they can get on my guest list, man.
Tell him to hit you on your Instagram.
Yeah, they can. You know what? Go to at Ruby Tuesdays, RUBEE Tuesdays, and they'll take care of you there.
There you go.
They'll take
Make
care
sure
of
you
you.
make sure you go check them out.
Slide into the DMs of at Ruby Tuesdays, and you have until 5:30 to do that.
About an hour and a half, y'all. Get on that shit while you're listening to Savage as Fuck right here on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy. Now, Ruben, you were talking about traveling the world, all these
Yes.
places you've been. You did mention South Africa.
Yes, I've been to South Africa a few times.
Excellent,
Pedro.
man. Congratulations, sir.
Yes.
I need more stamps on my passport.
Absolutely, I'm on my third passport, but let's go ahead.
You know
Go
what?
ahead. I had to add.
I
I had to add pages to this one. Did you know you can add pages?
I did not know you could
And
do
you know
that.
what?
A lot
I
of
wanna
people
do
don't
that.
know that. Don't
I've
feel
had-
embarrassed that you don't know that.
I have two, so I've been blessed.
Okay, there you go.
All right, you Jason Bourne ass niggas, whatever. I don't give a
That's
fuck.
because you're old.
Jason's a
Motherfucking
cool
got
name.
a Hungarian.
travel.
We travel.
Got
Because they kept
Hungarian passports and
expiring.
shit.
Did you call us Jason Bourne?
Ass
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
You right. So listen, when you were in South Africa, did you catch wind of this? This has been a story that's very interesting to me. But for those who
Man,
don't know,
that was a great segue.
the South African government is on a move right now to take back their lands from white Africans who, for generations have been there. But originally
See,
took
if
that
you could
land.
turn back time.
But they took that
See?
land.
See, that actually
There was.
But here's the trick, though. Here's the trick out, Jason. Right,
Get Cher to help
the
you.
South African government is attempting to reclaim this land without any compensation to the white farmers. And I just gotta say, I fucking love this shit, baby. This shit makes my dick hard, man. I love this. I'm like, take all that shit back from them, kick them out.
So, has anybody here been to South Africa?
I have.
I have.
Ruben has.
Multiple times.
I've been there.
I've been there once, and
I think it's an extraordinary country, but I think you're right. But the thing is, so what happens to all those people that are so young that really have no identification with it? What happens to them?
Well, it's ingrained into the fabric of South Africa.
Oh, it's the same as America.
You got to understand.
Absolutely.
But
And that's why I love it so much. I'm like, let's take this one step further.
But here's the thing. Yeah, in America too, but we can go back to the 60s, the civil rights movement, et cetera, et cetera. Apartheid was over in the 90s.
Yeah.
I know. I
You
was
know what
there.
I mean? So
I was at the thing with
Nelson Mandela.
I was there when he came to this country.
One
With
of-
Sarah
one of-
Jessica Parker and
one
Robert
of my
Downey
good
Jr.
fr- one of
in
my-
a group that I was in called Young Artists United. So I am with the people.
good for
There
you.
you go.
So
I got my cred. You can take the fucking trash out.
You know what? We need Danny Glover to shoot
So-
Kafa lover.
So
And then you just-
a very good friend of mine who just turned 40 years old is considered one of the first black comedian in South Africa.
Like
And it's
4
two-
years old?
And it's 40.
40.
Oh, 40. I thought 4. What the hell?
It's 2018.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that just shows you how recent and how prevalent it still goes on with the issues there. South Africa is one of the first places that I've been to where I was staying at this hotel called the West Cliff that now switched over, I think, to the Four Seasons. Yes.
Excuse us.
When I go to South Africa, I go to South Africa.
That's 5 stars.
So when I'm at this hotel, the white people are looking at you. They'll stare at you with the look like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yep.
Still in 2018, they'll look
for
at you
sure.
like, "What the fuck are you doing at this hotel?"
I wanted to address one point Jason kind of made, that the young people who are there now, white Africans who
They know.
might not be associated with it. I'm going to argue that they absolutely are. That
They benefit from
but
it.
generation to generation, all of that gets passed down. That wealth gets passed
As
right
I
down.
said that
So
out
they
loud,
they
no.
might not have kicked anybody off of their land, but that land wasn't theirs, and it got
in the first place.
and taken away, and now
Well, if we're going to go there, God, this whole country is built that way.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Basically,
But-
all of us need to give it back to the American
To
people.
Native
but
American.
Africa said, "Fuck that. We pulling a Killmonger. We going in there.
Do you think they're
and we
gonna
got
get-
some adamantium and we taking all our shit back?"
I think if things like that
That's for
start,
all the
if things
nerds
like
out
that
there that
start
know
to
Black
happen,
Panther.
it's really gonna put people in a place of equality.
Fuck 'em.
I know, but I think there's a better way to
well, no,
do it. in
there's
the sense
already
of-
inequality
to make
There-
sure that the people understand what
Fuck
this
'em.
is
There's
about.
no country in the world with greater racial inequality than South Africa. Like South Africans
100%.
make up like 7% or 8% of the white Africans make up like 7% of South Africa, and they control like all the wealth.
They control everything, and just in the terms
Sounds
of,
like our country.
of not being responsible. I
17%.
think I can speak for a lot of black people when it comes to privilege and racism. Like if you're a 20-year-old white person in this country, we're smart enough to know that you did not enslave our
Enslave anybody.
ancestors. But just don't sit up here and act like you don't benefit from it. That's
Right.
the whole point.
Right.
Of course you're innocent in terms of you didn't actually do anything, but let's not walk around like you didn't benefit from the fact that
Right.
So let me share something that I've just come to,
family
that I've come
benefit
to
from.
an understanding because I'm an old white guy who's Jewish and gay.
Mm-hmm.
So when my father came here in 1940,
two things though that you have to tell people you are. They just don't know by looking
right,
at you.
and that's the thing of
difference.
it. You know,
Okay.
so I spent my whole childhood having blonde
But if you
hair.
listen to him, you know he's
Blonde hair and blue eyes. So I was not
definitely-
no blonde hair and blue eyes growing up that way. So I would hear what they would say about Jews growing up. My father used to say to me, "You can trust nobody but the Jews." That's all. And then I realized you could trust everybody but the Jews. 'Cause my family was crazy. So fighting that as a kid and hearing what people would say about Jews, cheap, smell. All the things that were trying to take your money, all the things that I would hear as a kid growing up, and then coming out as gay in my life and being a gay guy, and all through the 80s, like I remember at the Comedy Laugh Factory one night, Paul Rodriguez, love him to death, comes over to me and said, "God, you're so funny. Why didn't you ever make it?"
Damn.
And then I looked at him like, "What?" And he goes, "No, I didn't mean that." I said, "Why didn't you ever get a series?" I said, "Because I had 10 deals when I was in the 90s, but no one was going to give a gay guy a series. So I joke and I say I was allowed to have white privilege, and I say that with the most humility, that I was allowed to walk in the room, but I was allowed to tell to my face that I was not allowed to work and the reasons why. So I'm starting to understand on a real, I'm way over 40, I'm over 50. I'm really starting to understand on a really deep level about how much and how difficult it's been for you guys, people of color, that I didn't have. And I'm really starting to understand that. It's taken me a while. And I'm one of the most liberal, and you guys know especially because they're my comedy friends. But so it's such a deep thing to really understand that what's happened in the country. And my family doesn't come from that. I came from running from the Nazis. So I don't have that the total experience, but I do see there is a big difference. And I'm talking to the white people that listen to you right here.
And we know you listening, white people.
Hey, all four of y'all white people, you heard what Jason said.
But I'm talking to the white people out there and saying, hey, you got to understand that these people wear this on their skin, and
literally.
and also to be such a liberal guy and not have that in my consciousness. And being so
it's like when you're not
into the Black and Latino
when you don't
and
have
Asian communities, and as I've had more, people say I feel more comfortable here than I do in the other world.
It's like when you don't have to wear it though, then how would you necessarily know, right? Like I have to stay focused and conscious about women's issues, because to be honest, that shit doesn't affect me directly, right? Like sexism doesn't get at me like that, right? But I have to stay as a child of a single mother, older brother to a younger sister, right? I have to be conscious about women's issues and be aware to try and
the whole women's thing.
Be involved in it, right?
I'm so far away from that.
But it's not an inherent thing that I'm experiencing.
About South Africa, I heard people both sides of it, and I'm gonna keep it real. I could give a fuck what they feel. I don't give a fuck the young people getting fucked over. Because if you look at the comparison to the shit that we go through and they go through, it's like, man, fuck you, man.
Well, it's only 7%. How long is it going to take to get rid of it?
7%, all 7% of them, because they all benefited from the shit, all of them, right? Yeah. And if anything, I hope that, in fact, I'm going to go over there more. I'm going to ride a rhino right into somebody's house, and I'm taking their shit.
And here's
tell them don't freeze.
Here's what people forget about the racism in South Africa, and even here on American soil. It wasn't just being discriminated against. There was fucking violence being used. People are getting killed,
way past
and
violence.
beat.
I mean,
and
what do you mean then?
Cannibalism. Almost. I mean, when you read about stuff and you hear stuff like that, it's just hard to get it into your mind.
Yeah, but people try to brush it off like it's just certain laws here and there. Like people were murdered and killed in the name of racism to protect whatever they felt they have to protect.
2 years ago, you guys all know that I had a part in the movie Birth of a Nation, which is about black abolitionists, Nat Turner.
Yeah, that was very good.
So what I was constantly asked when I was being interviewed was, what was it like to play a racist plantation owner? What was my feeling? And I would always say to the interviewer, the person, hey, what I do is I take off my shoes, I put on the shoes of my black brothers and sisters, and I just shut the fuck up and listen. Because I think what the most important thing is to really, really listen to other people and make people feel heard. Because I think that is probably more important than anything.
So much better.
I don't have an opinion on this because it didn't happen to me. Certainly, I have an emotional opinion of fuck, this is like, where do we live, son? And I'm feeling that way now. And, and as a gay man, I've had, horrific things happen to me, right? That you guys don't even know about,
Fuck that Italian dude, man.
Yeah, well, I did. And that was the problem. But and I am single, so I'm looking. So anybody feels that he's feeling something,
he slipped that right in there.
Yeah,
and that sounded nasty too. I just said that was nasty.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think that it's really about listening, making people feel heard, and white people have to stop giving their opinion about it. And
sometimes it's just listening. We don't need our racism monitored,
right?
And that's what they try to do. Something like, you'll say that's racist, and they go, that's not racist. How would you know?
Yeah,
how would you know if
it doesn't affect
racist?
you? Yeah, exactly.
You would say the same thing about homophobia.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't get to do that.
It's like you don't get the opportunity to tell me how I feel about something. Now, what your intent is might be different, but you can't
tell me about my experience within this.
But I think you guys got to really
Princeton.
In order to have change, you got to educate people.
But you got to educate them. But I think that some people have the perception it's like, yo, there wasn't no gay slave ships. There wasn't like there's no systematic in society.
Well, no, there was. It was the HIV epidemic in the 80s,
Well,
like Jason said.
I'm talking about all the way up. You know what the fuck?
No, I get it, but you got to understand, like that was their Holocaust. Right?
That was their Holocaust, but I'm saying it's.
Well, no, wait. These are two separate things.
Bus
The
fare
Holocaust
compared to it's bus fare compared
AIDS
to
are
the
two-
amount of people that died on the boats come over. It's bus fare. What I'm saying is, in the system right now, systematically with cops, those fucking dirty backward bitch ass yogurty yo play ass cops, you yogurt bitches, and all you cops, fuck all y'all.
There's got to be some good guys.
No,
Come
there's
on.
about two, and
they're all on-
Now you're
they're all on
becoming-
TV.
Now you're becoming them. You
I
don't want
absolutely
to.
am them. I am.
You
I
don't
am
want to
done
be.
with
We don't
being-
want to be.
Hey,
Shang is
I am
savage.
them. I
Savage
am
as fuck.
absolutely them.
If you're
I'm
just
saying-
tuning in, we are savage as fuck right here on Marcus King Presents
We don't
Dash
want
Dash
Comedy.
Comedy.
We are talking about racism, basically. South Africa is taking back land and kicking out white people, and we love it.
Hurry
Or
up,
at least I do.
Kafa.
We're also here with our comedians Jason Stewart and Ruben Paul. Guys,
Yes.
let them know where you can be followed. Give them your social medias.
I am Ruben Paul. That's RUBENPAUL on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, you could just find me under Ruben Paul on my Ruben Paul comedy page, or just go to my Ruben Paul comedy.
Instagram, the Jason Stewart, STUART. Twitter, Jason_Stewart. And Facebook, Jason Stewart, TOO.
And you can catch me tonight at the Hollywood
Live.
Laugh Factory every Tuesday night, 9:30, Ruby Tuesdays.
Get it in, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, so speaking of get it in, somebody else has been busted, man.
Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's the latest hashtag Me Too dude.
Yeah, but don't say that. We don't know what's going on now. We're saying like something's bad happened. We don't know, and we got to be careful about that because we don't know what happened. right?
all I'm saying, I'm
on
not
the news.
about to indict the man on
Okay.
anything. I don't know. Yeah,
You
I
shouldn't
wasn't
have
there.
been playing with her astroplane. That's what I'm trying to
Exactly.
say.
He's an astrophysicist.
Yes,
so
that motherfucker was trying to get that ass while I was talking about the planetary.
But why this is interesting to me is because he's like one of the biggest brains on the planet, and it just seems that none of us are outside of this. Whether you're a dumbass dickhead or a fucking astrophysicist.
How do you know about atomic particles and you ain't supposed to just walk up and grab somebody's titty?
How can you say atomic? What was that?
Particles.
Particles
Atomic
and
particles.
H in the same sentence.
I'm just saying you can't.
That's
grab
the world that
titties.
black people have to live in, though. We have to go to school and then come home and be like, "What up, nigga?" You know what I mean? Like you have to get in. It's two different worlds, Jason. It's two like we have. It's like the movie Sorry to Bother You or whatever. Like there's a white voice that we have to put on sometimes,
But no,
or a different demeanor, and then
Boots.
you can't come back to the hood
Word.
with that same shit.
Right.
Like you gotta switch it up.
Right, but we can talk about thermodynamics and kinetic energy and how it affects the world around us, and at the same time, get at these hoes.
You go, girl.
I'm joking. I ain't talking about. I don't mean all women are hoes. It's just a percentage of hoes. It's like the milkshake. There's 1% of hoes in the milkshake, and the rest of the
Like those
hoes
are conversations I used to have with my black friends at Princeton. You'd be like, "Hey man, what's up with you? What you doing today?" "I'm studying this astrophysics and shit." You know what I mean? Like that's a sentence you'd be like,
I know. I'm just trying
"I'm studying philosophy
no.
and shit."
I'm just old.
It's all good.
Stop it. No, you're a little bit older than me.
So I didn't read up
I'm
on that.
78.
So who was it that claimed Neil?
Well, it's like actually a few women have come out recently, and
But what does that mean? That he came onto them, or does it mean something?
No, there
brutal
are
happened?
accusations of groping felt up. I'm looking at in quotations here. So
Well, I want to tell you, I could go back through a lot of you guys at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, and the Improv, who you straight guys have felt me up. So I want to be in that news article.
Well, hashtag them, dog. Call them out.
Some of them are dead though.
Yeah.
Call them out, Jason. Hashtag them, man. Call them out.
I don't want to because I don't want to be associated.
Doctor Caitlin Allers, associate professor of physics and astronomy at Bucknell, saying that she was felt up by him in 2009 at a American Astronomical Society event. And that
Sounds like a party.
That organization, you're right. That organization,
Sounds
though,
like a good time.
at that time they had no mechanism to report this, right? So anybody who wants to be like, well, why did she say something back then? Like, well, there was nobody for her to really report it to. But
What about the police?
You said
felt up-
fuck them
a
all.
felt
You
up-
said
Wait a
fuck
minute. I was going to say something after that, but you jumped on the line I was about to fucking say.
Okay,
Felt
go ahead.
up-
I'm pretending.
But
I
they
didn't say
probably
it.
just shoot her. See, that's what the fuck I was going to say,
no,
man.
she's a
I'm
white she's a
sorry.
white woman. She would not.
Oh, yeah,
get
that's
shot.
right.
Are you
Yeah, that's
insane?
right. She would be like,
There are some white
I
women
know.
that get shot by accident. Come
get
on.
the fuck
Those
out
are
of
but
here.
they really deserve.
They
Like if
were
a white woman
really
gets shot,
bad.
that
We are.
didn't-
This show is the women are. How do you two gals sit there and deal with this shit every day?
We're
I
not,
don't-
we're
this
not
is
saying.
not chauvinistic. This is facts.
Oh, look, they roll their eyes. I don't know how how many
Let me
times.
tell you, you didn't roll your eye. If you did,
Just one eye went one way.
This is her introduction to
if
the
you
show.
rolled your eyes,
Actually, Leanne
I
hasn't
hope
been
you
in
got
this show
sixes.
before.
And rolling your eyes to fuck. Let me tell you something. It's not about that. Sometimes, even with women, I think sometimes if I state something about a woman, it doesn't mean I'm against all women. It means that particular woman, was crazy as cat shit. It's not all women, so it's not that.
No, I know, but I think that they also, for so long don't feel heard, and this whole thing is changing, and it's happening really quick. I'm just really glad I'm gay right now.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad.
You guys don't Me Too each other, huh?
Well, other than Kevin Spacey, there's no one to watch out
I guess
for,
so.
And
Although, what's his name? Terry Crews did he hashtag somebody?
His agent, yeah.
Yeah, somebody, some dude felt him up.
And his agent just grabbed him in a playful way, and it was completely inappropriate. I agree with him. And I think that this agent felt that he had the permission to do that.
Right.
And I think a lot of straight men or gay men or any man feels that they have the permission to grab women or grab things without. I'm now online. He's photographing me.
You've been recording this shit?
Yeah.
You mean this shit is going out to people?
We
So, I mean, they have the
broadcast
permission.
that shit?
They do not have the permission to do that.
No,
they do
not
have
at
the
all.
permission to grab women in any or to grab anyone, to grab a man or a woman. And I
Oh,
think
that's bullshit. She was asking for it. Shut up. You're looking at me. I can tell the way you're looking at me.
he's
You want it.
photographing you saying
You
that.
don't want
That's-
that. You wanted it, okay? Look at me. Look at me. You wanted it. Shut your mouth.
I want it, but nobody,
I guess part of me is a little naive. I just wouldn't have. You just won't think Neil deGrasse Tyson, like genius dude.
Has anybody here been grabbed by someone that they did not want to be grabbed by?
Yeah.
Either a man or a woman.
course.
You guys have never been
This-
grabbed?
this-
Ruben,
I
have you
was
been
there-
grabbed?
I mean,
All the time.
Ruben, have you been
I
grabbed?
have
Tell
a
the
lot.
truth.
I've had women fondle me often.
Yeah, I've had that. I guess so. Yeah, yeah.
Unwanted
And you didn't even
fondling?
sound sad about it.
No, I mean, let me tell you, man, when you're just minding your own business and a woman just gropes your balls or something, that's hard to deal with.
You are better than me.
I'm just
That
I'm
is-
just a
You meant
performer.
hard to deal with, like hard.
Let me say something, Ruben.
I'm
That
here
is
just-
a great day for me. And you telling me
I'm just trying to tell
Shane
jokes,
literally,
man.
he walks around with his balls out, hoping for that
Hoping to
moment.
get grabbed.
Right.
Shane- I'm-
Shane
I want
asks
somebody.
his listeners to come out and rape him.
He is
Yeah.
so
Right
not
now.
like that. I'm telling you
Bust
right
me in
now.
the head.
I
Jesse,
know
I'm-
Shang, and he is not like
I'm not.
I am like that.
I'm not a piece of meat. I'm not a piece of meat.
I am
You're
a piece
not.
of
I'm a
meat.
performer. I need to be
You're a
respected as
valuable
such.
person.
Ruben, you know how crazy you sound right now?
I need to be respected.
You can't. People
You
can't.
know.
You can see it on Facebook
I
Live.
need to-
Ruben is smiling. That motherfucker
Hey,
is
I
not
feel
telling the
like,
truth.
I feel like telling these women like Denzel said, I'm gonna put cases on all you bitches.
You'll end up in Pelican Bay.
I gotta say, I've been grabbed by more straight men than I have by gay men.
That makes
Really?
sense.
Yeah, but
That's
they're
not
Like grab?
because they.
What do you mean
feel
grab?
something.
Like-
they feel something else.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah,
That's not
especially in the
surprising.
comedy world.
Like they'll grab your
yeah, unless you're
junk or
going to a
something?
gay bar, that is what that bar is about.
Wow.
It's a sexual bar, and you guys would never even want to ever go there or be allowed.
Yeah.
But when you go into that place, you know that this is going to be a handsy, touchy kind of
I've
feeling.
been I've been to gay bars before. I've done shows at gay clubs. I
A
didn't
bear
get-
club? Have you gone to bear?
No,
bar?
I did the one up
You
on
go to a bear
Santa Monica.
thing, you
No,
would-
I did one up
you
on
would have
Santa
been-
Monica.
you would be
All I
just-
know is that they paid me a lot of money and the crowd was fantastic. I did the
but
show.
that's a standard model bar.
That's well.
One time at the
they
little,
they were very nice to me.
I did the Long Beach Laugh Factory and one night, and I usually go to the little piano. There was a piano bar, dueling piano bar next door. So I went in there one night, have a drink after the show, and there's this gay dude in there who's like by himself and like fucked up drunk, right? And he's walking around, he's kind of fucking with people or whatever, and I'm just standing at the bar by myself, and he like wanders up to me, and you seeing him coming, and you're just like, no, that's not today, right? And he comes up and he tries to do he tries to touch like my stomach and belt buckle area.
Because that's a hot area.
But all my old martial arts shit kicked in, and I'm like, like I'm grabbing his wrist and putting it back. I'm like, bro, like back the fuck up. So that's the only time that a gay dude has ever like
But Ruben
attempted
gets
that.
Ruben
with
gets
me, but-
fondled by women a lot.
I mean, it's the price you have to pay for being funny and a motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, and Ruben tries to tell them ladies, because I know me, my alter ego, Smack Hammer.
so we
The
got
ladies, sometimes I tell the ladies, listen, Smack Hammer don't want you to grope me freely.
You know what's
you have to
hilarious?
pay $5.
My sister, who's one of the most thugged out people I know,
That was
loves Shang.
I saw her.
And it's uncomfortable how much she loves Shang.
When I saw her at the club, I was like, wow, I might have to do Ruben's
Nah.
sister.
hey. Damn, that's
I might have
savage.
to do Ruben's sister.
That's savage as fuck right
but to
there.
be honest, I wouldn't even give a fuck. She grown, so she
grown,
Yeah,
yeah,
you said
yeah.
she grown.
I just don't want to know about the shit.
That's right.
I don't want to see you coming out the room like, nigga, your sister? Woo! Man! Woo! I ain't had head like that in 10 years. Like, really, Shane? Really?
You hear him screaming, smack
Really?
We call it the polisher. We do. God damn.
Yo, I don't understand how two friends one would let one
Do
date
this
their
is-
sister.
yeah.
Because I had a homeboy who was so disrespectful. He ended up marrying my boy's sister. But when I tell you he used to ridicule, like, man, your sister got some good pussy. I'd be like, dude,
What?
you shouldn't say that.
Oh, my
That's
God.
Oh my
foul.
God.
No, I'm fighting
That's
that dude.
foul
I'm
to
fighting that
say
dude.
to your homeboy.
If my-
That's why I don't want no part of
If
that.
my brother-in-law Eric, I know you listening. If my brother-in-law ever come at me like,
Come on,
we
man.
tearing up the living
Eric
room.
ain't that type of dude.
I couldn't,
No, he ain't gonna be
I
like
couldn't
that.
put up with that, man. My sister's grown, but that would be uncomfortable.
I would
All
just
I'm
like
saying-
someone to
Shang,
set
if
me
you
up-
hooked up, it would be uncomfortable.
I would
That's
just
all.
like
Yeah,
someone to
I don't
set me up
know.
with a date with someone who calls me back.
Yeah, we're gonna find you some love here by the end of this show,
hope so.
Jason. Don't worry, man.
Welcome to Savage as Fuck Love Live.
Yeah, we are Savage as Fuck right here on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy. We got Jason Stewart in the house. We have Ruben Paul. I am Black Pedro.
I'm Shang. And check this out. We're taking a break.
We're going to a quick break, y'all. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump at the G20, on this trade deficit. show.
Hey,
Fucking
that
up
was so
everything, man.
funny, man. The shit was hilarious.
Savage as Fuck, y'all. Uh-oh. Yeah, y'all. We Savage as Fuck right here on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy. I'm your boy, Black Pedro.
Yo, this is Shang, and I want to let you know something right now. This has been a very informative show. We've learned a lot, but because we got two incredible guests. Both of them. One of them gets fondled a lot. One wants to get fondled a lot.
I don't want to be fondled.
You
by
want to
a-
be fondled. Stop it.
Maybe
You
by
acting-
you, but
yeah, I'm
maybe
just saying. You want to
in
be
the day.
fondled.
But now we're too old. We know each other
Man,
too well.
it's
It would
weird.
Be
It would be
uncomfortable.
weird. It'd be
Yeah.
strange.
We have
It was
comedians
first-
Jason Stewart and Ruben Paul in the
Paul.
building, y'all.
And make sure if you get a chance, make sure you go down and check out Rube live tonight.
Every Tuesday.
Tonight at the world famous Laugh Factory. And if you don't know where the Laugh Factory is in Hollywood, you're
Kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Fuck your feelings.
Yeah, fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings.
Live on the
baby.
Sunset Strip, y'all.
But yeah, actually, his show is going to be at 9:30. It's going to be himself. He's the host and he's the master of ceremony.
It is
Makes
a
the shit pop off.
kick-ass club.
And he's going to have a killer lineup. Like I've done the show, and I'm telling you, he consistently has. Like it's not like a whole bunch of weak ass comics, because some lineups have some weak ass comics.
No weak links, man.
That's the truth. You know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, and that's what's cool thing about. That's a good thing about booking a diverse show, because I have every comic to choose from, so it's easier to put together a strong lineup instead if I was just booking all black comics or all white comics or all Latino comics. Then after a few weeks, you would start to run out of great comedians.
Right.
You know what I
Don't
mean?
you feel like we've evolved past that? I feel like we have.
Well, that's
the industry hasn't
that's
quite,
what-
though.
the
No, but we
industry-
have as
we have.
comedians.
Well, that's why I created the show that I create, so everybody has a voice on the show. So it's easier. It's a difficult show to book, but it's an easy show to make good.
He books a diverse. I had to follow like a Russian Peruvian, and this motherfucker he was actually from Dayton, Ohio, but he was like Russian mixed with, I think, Sclovian and I think Klingon. I like that. He books a bunch of different style comic. A lot of different style.
There you go.
So I want to make sure that you guys know you can follow us on Savage AF Radio on Instagram.
On all platforms
And,
right
and,
there.
and make sure we got to start pushing for the podcast. When you want to listen to podcasts, we are on iTunes, Stitcher, Slacker, Google Play,
Slacker. There's a Slacker?
Just Slacker.
Maybe they can't get to it because they're slacking.
Yeah, yo.
Slacker
iHeartRadio.
has 10 million listeners.
You can listen to us on iHeartRadio. 10 million listeners. Don't get it twisted. And iHeartRadio. And make sure you subscribe on iTunes. You can subscribe on all these platforms. Make sure you subscribe to us and make sure you listen to us and share it. Okay? It's not about you just listening to the show and say, oh, I really like the show. That Black Pedro is so smart, and at the same time, he's hood.
So hood. So
He's
hood.
so hood.
I'm more hood than you are. Pedro.
No.
That is not true.
That's
I
not
know.
true.
That is not true
That is
at
not
all.
true. I was just hanging out with
I'm
him
not hood
last
at all.
night. Trust me, Pedro is hood. I was out with, we was at the club turning up. Turn up. Pedro's hood.
I get it in.
But no, make sure you follow on all of our social media. Mine is Comedian Shang. Also, Black Pedro.
At Black Pedro.
At Black Pedro.
Oh, the Jason Stewart.
Right.
STUART on Instagram. Jason _Stewart on Twitter. Jason Stewart TOO on Facebook. That's me.
And it's I am Ruben Paul, RUBEN PAUL on Instagram and Twitter. And also you can follow at Ruby Tuesdays, RUBEE Tuesdays on Instagram.
Every Tuesday, Hollywood Laugh Factory, y'all.
Every Tuesday, 9:30. It's a great show.
9:30. Yeah, 9:30.
And it's one of those shows that any groups of friends can come out together.
Right.
What I mean, like, because sometimes you might have somebody from another race in your group, and you might not want to take them to certain shows because you think they might get picked on the whole time. And it's not like that at my show. It's equal opportunity for everyone.
For everybody to
get roasted.
I'm savage as fuck. I'm saying I'm gonna let you know it's funny as fuck.
That's right.
The show is funny as fuck.
Appreciate that.
I'm already following you.
And I remember I had to follow a dude that was from I think Saturn. That's how diverse this shit is.
Okay. Intergalactic shit for y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I love
We in
that.
the solar system out here.
I've had Ruben on my show. Ruben
Yes.
headlined my show.
Hey, you know what? You know what else? Who else might be from another planet?
Ooh.
Our fucking president, man. He's a goddamn idiot. I think this
He's
motherfucker.
a fucking idiot,
Yeah,
man.
he's just a fucking
2
alien
years
idiot.
cannot go by fast enough for me.
Oh my goodness,
but I'm telling you what, the Democratic Congress coming in, trust me, is going to be a little different ball game.
Oh my God.
He should be in jail, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
How is it
and
not allowed to-
hopefully,
how is it what he's saying not allowed? How do we? It's like they said all these things that the Russians put on. I mean, what was there? 19 different government intelligence agencies put out this information that said the stuff that was said about Hillary Clinton on Facebook was done right in front of plain sight. That it was not true,
Right.
and right in front of us, and nobody gets in trouble for any of that. Nobody.
No.
And then,
well, hopefully, I mean, Mueller's still building this case. Hopefully,
he said it's near the end now.
It gets to something.
But at the summit, he was
right now,
cornball.
Trump he's relabeling himself as some idiot shit. He's calling himself. He says, "I am a tariff man." So the G20
he just throws his shit out. If it can become a tagline, he does it.
The G20 summit, you know, the world's most powerful economies get together and, you know, talk about economics and try and work out trade deals and keep the global trade thing going, right? Well, you know, we're going head to head with China. America and China are the two largest economies in the world. And, you know, we've been in this tariff thing with them. Like, Trump has been starting to start trade. So we've been on a 90-day hiatus from that trade war, right?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
You're not verified on Instagram.
No, I'm not.
And I am. So.
I know that. No, yeah.
And so is...
no, my numbers are pitiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You need to go mine. Black Pedro, please, everyone. He needs to be verified. Help him, because all the cool kids are verified, and that's us.
Thank you, man.
So
I'm not verified.
I'm not verified.
I'm not verified.
Shane, you're not verified?
I'm verified.
No.
How did you get verified? Did you
I'm
request
a celebrity. God damn it!
No, because you have to email.
He's a star.
You got to email the dude, and the dude puts it up there. He sees all your credits.
It was just my publicist did it for me.
Well, you can do it yourself. I can.
He's got people. I don't have people. I don't have a publicist.
Yeah.
My mama is my publicist. That's not working
My
out.
mother isn't. She's against me. Why is he doing this? What is he talking about? Why do I have to hear this over and over again?
You have a nice Shane upon him, but I don't know if it'll work out.
I'm sorry, Black Pedro.
No. So we're on this 90-day kind of truce from the trade war that we're in while this summit is going on, and they're trying to work it out. But you know, Trump's that dude, so he's like we're gonna try and work out a deal
with
China.
Oh,
but guess what?
Another place that I go to.
He said that the deal was done. He said the deal was done, and guess what? China said we know nothing.
Let me tell you something about China.
I've been there once.
Well, he said that Mexico loves him, is going to pay for a wall, and they won't even let him walk in their country.
I've been to China. I've done 4 tours through China.
See, you balling.
I had a layover in Shanghai last year. I did that.
And
he went everywhere last year. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Everybody need to get on board. Mandarin is the wave of the future.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to learn Spanish. Learn
Chinese.
Learn Mandarin or Cantonese, man, because
that they're taking over him.
Yeah,
China is heavily invested in Africa.
Yes.
They're doing their global thing. This is their industrial revolution.
Absolutely.
They are booming. like I said, it's us and them right now. We're running the world in terms of these dollars. We've already slapped $250 billion of tariffs on Chinese goods.
Which fucked the farmers over. The farmers took a 72% drop initially, and then it's increased now.
Trump is threatening
72%.
another $267 billion on top of that. And China has already imposed $110 billion on our products. The reason I want to bring this
I just
up.
want people to know that you're reading off your phone because I don't want them to think you're smarter than me.
Wow.
I was smart enough to know where to get my information.
Yes,
okay?
you were.
and
And
that
very,
means
very
you are
attractive.
And that's what we have to do, guys.
Very, very delicious.
But for those who don't understand what this is, I'm trying to connect these dots for y'all, man. You got to understand that when our nation's largest automaker announces shutdowns like they did last week, that's a direct byproduct of Trump's tariffs. Let me see, who is this representative? So Republicans are getting at him right now, right? Representative Ben Sasse, I think his last name is Sasse. He's tweeting that tariffs are taxes on American families, and we need to understand that the tariffs that Trump is imposing is making it harder for American companies to produce things because it makes the raw materials that they need more fucking expensive. So like when steel becomes more expensive, guess what? It becomes
Cars
more
become
expensive
more
to make
expensive.
cars, you stupid motherfuckers. So that's why one of the reasons why GM has to do this sort of major shutdown, right?
what is it, 7? They're shutting down. Is it 7?
I think it's 5 facilities or something like that.
But it's a lot of people.
Like 7,000 employees are either going to be moved or laid off. So this is real shit. So, our dickhead Cheeto president wants to, walk around and say shit with his chest out. But I'm telling you, America, he really has no fucking clue what he's talking about. And he's running
At
this
all.
country into the ground. And China, like Ruben says, isn't really the one you want to fuck with right now. Like,
No.
they got that dough. They've owned us for years. Like, we financed this 15 years of fucking Iraq war. That's China backing that money eventually, right? Like
It's a communist country, and people forget that about China. And it's amazing when you go there. One thing that blew me away, and this is getting off subject, but it just talks about the control of the people. Is when I was in Beijing, I went to Tiananmen Square with a massacre and everything happened there.
Yeah.
Do you know if you're young and grown up in China, you
you
don't know
about
ever
that.
happened?
Yeah, that's not
Right.
history.
I
That's
have
not
no
history.
idea.
They erased that.
So a friend of mine was hired by a Chinese family to teach their kids real history.
Real Chinese history.
Wow.
And they were like, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. Like, dude, there were tanks
Rolling over
in this
students
square.
and shit.
Yeah, China went in on
Oh,
went in.
man.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, people don't realize Chinese. Okay, I from what I know, and my father's best friend was Chinese. Knew him from when he was 7 until my father died, and then the real Shang died.
I was say Shang got to know
Yeah.
something about
Yeah.
China.
Let me tell you something. China, at the end of the day, in the tariff shit, is going to fuck us over royally. They're going to win royally. They're not going to win a little bit. They're going to win a lot because the farmers already took a fucking hit, and you already know that they don't like Trump. They'll deal with Trump, but they know to fuck with him and flatter him and say, "Hey, man, I like your hair. Where'd you get it from? But where'd you get your hair from?" But I'm gonna tell you right now, China's going to win that fucking tariff battle. Period. The end.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what they're doing.
That's it. They're going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the ones. I mean, and like we see it, right? You go to the store, you go to your little Walmart in your podunk town, and you all the products are made in China, made in China, made in China. All that shit
Yep.
is made in China, guy. And all that shit is just going to become more expensive for you to buy with
Yep.
these fucking Trump tariffs, okay?
I agree. I agree.
And the way he spins it is foul, right? He makes it sound like we're losing money in a trade deficit.
Didn't he hate China before? He's like, we're going against China. He kept saying it like that, China.
Right.
And we don't even like black China. We don't like China. He just, that's
You
what.
got to admit the food is great.
Oh,
Fantastic.
wow. You know
Fantastic.
what the fuck? You got to admit, man, that orange
So,
chicken. Orange chicken is made by Mexicans. I don't know if you fucking know that.
Hey, Ruben, so
Like the best orange chicken is made by a dude named Lupe.
which dialect should we go with? Mandarin or Cantonese, dog?
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Mandarin by far.
Mandarin.
I
Okay.
would say Mandarin
Cantonese-
fried rice is the best.
Cantonese is a dying language. They only really speak Cantonese in Hong Kong.
In Hong
Right.
Kong.
But all through mainland China is where they speak Mandarin.
Mandarin is the
And-
majority
And
of the language.
here's what's dope. So like my friends, and I'm just saying the color just to show you how dope this is. But I have two different sets of black friends who are parents, and both their kids, they don't even know each other. Both their kids are learning Mandarin
Wow.
in school as we speak today, which I think is brilliant in
Can't
being
we
ahead
just
of the
use the
curve.
Google Translate?
No.
No. No.
Not if you want to close that deal, baby. Not if you want to close that deal.
If you want to close the deal. Now, listen, you listen to Savage as Fuck on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy. I'm Shang.
I'm Black Pedro.
That's Black Pedro over there.
we
Black
got Jason
Pedro.
Stewart and Ruben Paul in the house. Two very, very funny comedians.
This is Jason Stewart right here. We got
Hi.
this is Jason Stewart.
Hold on, I want to look good because
There you
you
go.
look good, and that's Ruben Paul right there. That's
it's not, the,
What
it's not
up,
a great
what up,
angle
what up?
for me.
Make sure you
Ruben
follow
DeVille.
Shane right now on Facebook Live. We got
we're
that
Facebook
going for
Live
y'all.
right now, and we got Black Pedro right there in the building.
Hey, that's somebody for you, huh?
And this is AKA Smack Hammer, baby.
Smack hammer. Hey guys, one last topic before we get out of here and sort of wrap up the show. In a
We
bit.
gonna
Oh,
wrap
are we
the show.
almost done?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're almost there,
Oh,
man.
you wanted me to talk about another movie. I have another movie. I have
yeah,
another
yeah.
movie that I remember.
The other movie.
I'm in a movie that Common Oscar winner is the
Yes.
executive producer of. It's on. If anybody has DirecTV, it's in a movie. It's a series called AT&T Hello, which they're doing on diversity, and I play.
Yeah.
Get this, I play an anti-abortionist leader, like Fred Phelps. I talk like this. And I play this guy, God hates fags.com.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
I mean, I play this awful guy, and
Yeah.
I didn't even have to audition, which was really weird.
That's awesome.
And the weirdest thing about doing the movie was the way people treated me on the set.
What,
it's
they
like
got mad at you,
Well,
or?
they were just sort of treating me like I was sort of off to the side. And the director was so nice. Her name is Melissa Reich. She sent the sweetest note, and she said, I have to thank you the most because it was really weird for you, being who you are and playing this part and the way people, all these young girls were on the other side.
Right.
And certainly the movie is very potent to what's going on right now in terms of Roe versus
And God
Wade.
doesn't hate fags.
No. Well,
Yeah,
that guy's
don't-
dead.
stop it.
That guy's dead, and he actually picketed me 4 times over the years
Really?
when I was headlining all over the club in the day.
wow.
He picketed me 4 times, and I remember once in Kansas City, Missouri, I got a standing ovation at Stanford's Comedy House before I even got on stage just for showing up.
What's the name of the movie?
It's
again?
called The Line, and it's in the AT&T Hello series.
On DirecTV, right?
On DirecTV. Make sure you check
So
that
y'all
out.
check that out.
That's what it is now. I mean, everything plays on different platforms.
Yeah, there's so many platforms.
And-
My web series is on Amazon.com called Mentor.
Awesome.
My short film that I've directed is on Deco.
Hey, can somebody else fucking work? God damn. man.
My
Damn,
stand-up
Jason.
special.
Can I
is
get
being
cast or some
My
shit?
stand-up special is being reissued for
Awesome.
the 10th year reunion on Here TV Media and
Right.
Amazon.
Right.
Dope,
Called
man.
Making It to the
But
Middle.
Ruben, let me tell you
Congratulations.
something. But let me tell you something about Rube. Rube,
just saw
other
that.
than the fact we've done TV shows forever, like
Yes.
all the way back from BET's Comic View. I
Yes.
mean,
I never did Comic View.
No, Comic View was actually for black comics. Was a big deal for
It was
us.
a big deal.
And
It was a
it got
big
me a
deal.
lot of work. I'm still considered. I'm called the light skinned dude from BET to this day.
Yes.
But Rube, I'm letting everybody know we're right now. If you we're on Instagram Live on Savage as Fuck. I know where the fuck. Did you just point to the shit on Savage as Fuck?
Listen to your
What is that?
producer.
That
Listen to
means
your
reset.
producer.
And you're supposed to
Reset
say-
Dash
Oh,
Comedy.
is that what we mean,
We're on
reset?
Savage as
Like-
Fuck on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy.
Thank
with
you, Shane.
the man, the myth, Black Pedro in the building. And I just wanted to say, BET's Comic View for us
What's the deal?
it was like getting the Tonight Show at the time because it gave us crazy exposure. We got seen by a ton of people very quickly, and it got us work. I don't know if did it get you a
Did
lot
you
of
guys
work?
do
Oh,
Star Search?
absolutely.
Did you do anybody do Star Search?
Never
here?
did. Never
No.
did.
Did you do
Star
Star Search?
No, I didn't do
Star
Star
Search was like that for me.
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Search.
They wouldn't let the gay
I used
guy.
to- I used
they
to
wouldn't let
love
the gay
Star
guy.
Search.
I
Oh, yeah.
love Star
That's
Search.
Yeah,
what-
when they,
amazing.
we're
No, I
talking
didn't get
Edric
Star
Bands,
Search.
they wouldn't let the gay guy on any of the other shows. Merv Griffin had me, and that was it. And that was the end.
Wow.
Honestly,
shout out
You
to
did
Merv
Merv
Griffin.
Griffin?
yes, I did.
Shout out to Merv, man.
God damn.
Legend.
Tell me more, Jason.
Hey,
Yo.
check this out. Are you guys up on Mark Lamont Hill? Do we know who he is? You guys
No,
with him?
who's Mark
Lamont Hill.
Mark Lamont Hill. He's
Yeah, I
a
know who
a
it is.
CNN commentator.
I know he got
He's a prof-
canned.
He's a professor at Temple University, and CNN just parted ways with him over a speech he gave at Temple.
Yeah.
In which,
Temple?
I'd love to hear Temple University in Philadelphia.
Oh, not at a
Right.
temple.
Not at a temple, but
Aye.
temple related almost. Where
Yes.
What's his name again? Say the name again.
Mark Lamont Hill, African American brother, very
Okay.
intelligent.
Been on
always
a ton
on
of
point with it.
shows.
Yeah,
And he went to a Jewish temple.
No, he teaches at Temple University.
Temple
He's a
University.
professor there, and he was giving a speech. And actually, the speech was at the United Nations, and
Pertaining to Palestine.
and so he'll denounce the oppression of Palestinians and endorsed and this is in quotes, a single secular democratic state for everyone, instead of the kind of failed two-state solution that they've been trying to do between Israel and Palestine. And he's caught a lot of backlash from obviously CNN and
feels
Temple
the way-
University.
He got fired.
for what they call anti-Semitic rhetoric. And I'm just like,
Well, we didn't hear the speech, number one, so it's hard to comment.
Yeah, I did hear the speech.
Oh, we did? Okay, so then you say something.
I did hear the speech. It absolutely, positively was not. It was stating the facts.
I didn't hear the whole thing, but
I heard it. It was stating the facts.
And just being familiar with Mark Lamont Hill and his work, I would say it would be hard for me to believe that he was just out there spitting
was his point?
anti-Semitic.
What was his point?
His point is,
Yeah.
and I share this point, right? His point
I
is
do too.
that you got to get rid of this religious aspect in that region, right? You have
Well, let me share with you before you say, just on that point itself.
Okay.
So my dad, coming from Poland,
Right.
having to leave his house in, I believe 1941 or 2, I guess.
Yeah, bad time to be around there.
Where they said to him one day, Nazis are coming, you have to leave.
right.
If anybody said that to you, nobody in his family wanted to leave except my grandma Clara.
Right.
And she said, "We're leaving." They thought she was crazy. She went. My grandfather took my dad, who was at the time I think 10 or 11 years old, and my uncle Mike, who just passed this year, who was 4 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he was 11. My dad, and they went to the train station. My grandfather, who was a big macha at the time, which means he was a big guy in a factory. He was he ran a factory. He said,
He was a boss.
I was the boss. So he said, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to, wrap the banks, because they were watching people like that. So my grandmother with the train with the 2 small children, each a little suitcase in hand. That's it. Out of a whole house. And they were well off.
Right.
And my grandfather goes to the train station, say goodbye to him. And
We feel you.
my grandmother pulled him on the train, and he would not be here if that didn't happen. And that's what happened in his life, because there was no place to be a Jew,
Right.
because they hate us for the education and then what we had. So the idea of taking away the country and not doing that is, there are still people alive that have been through that. My dad just passed 7 years ago.
I feel that, but
So that's the problem. And then
and-
I'm going to
and
say the other side, because I'm not a total. I have a lot of feelings about different sides. I used to date a guy who was half Jordanian and half from Venezuela, and he used to tell me.
Damn, that's a mix and a half.
And
of your ass.
he lived in Jordan. And he used to tell me how the Jews would come from Israel and they would bomb his house. And a little boy, his mother would pick him up, and she'd have to walk out of the house. And he wouldn't even have his shoes, and he'd be frightened. And he didn't know. So people don't know what's going on. This is the most ridiculous, difficult, awful situation that we have involved ourselves in as Americans to support Jewish people.
But America does one America does support Jewish Americans.
Oh, much yes,
much more
but-
than before. But I
No,
think that
always.
in this situation, they fired him, and he really didn't say anything that was anti-Semitic.
It's a long street, but
I'm saying he didn't say anything anti-Semitic. That's number one.
No,
Number
but
two,
what it is,
they treated the dude that shot up the people that they treated him more respect, and he shot 11 people in a synagogue.
I think what
Pittsburgh.
they should, but I think what
Black
they should
people
have.
can't get treated.
Let me just
they
tell you what
get
I
treated
think.
like shit. And
I just think I don't think it's a black thing. I think it's just a thing totally of someone not agreeing with the Jews on what should happen there. I think it could have been anybody who was doing that,
right?
Because that's the way they feel that strongly.
Anybody who says you can't say anything against the state of Israel.
Right. And I think that we have to get to the point where it's okay to say, hey, the Jews that are running Israel now are not the concentration camp, not the ghetto Jews that my father was. It's a different group of people. The problems are similar, but they're not the same. And what has to happen, instead of firing him, we should have got him on CNN and have him have a discussion with actual Jewish people who live there. There should have been an education to say, hey, what did you really mean? What can we learn from this? How can you grow and learn? Just like I'm learning what it is to be around my black brothers and my friends, people that are my dear close friends, of how to speak about a situation.
But how do you do that though? Because
you guys
because
you got to give us some room in there to do it.
Well, no, but this is a pretty. I mean, he just kind of gave a base.
It's the same way you feel.
It is, but he just kind of gave a base statement, right? It's really not weighted
Right.
towards anybody
I
else. Right?
understand,
It's
but-
just
but
saying
the
that
black
give
community-
Palestinians a fair voice.
We're all
like
doing
they're
that.
not getting it.
We're all doing that.
They're not though. You're saying like there should have been a discussion.
No,
while
I'm
also,
saying we're
but
all
hold
doing
on, but
that.
we're also admitting that there isn't really room for one because the second you speak out
You're
anything
right.
that sounds like not
Exactly.
Israel,
I agree with-
then it's just shut down. So it's like. I don't know how
We're
the world
agreeing.
approach.
Yeah, I'm
I just don't
agreeing
know
with
how
you.
the world approaches this
I'm
because
agreeing with you, but I just
Jews
wanna-
don't
I
want
wanna-
Israel don't want to hear that shit.
I just want to give you some subtext.
And even in Hollywood, if you say anything that's even slightly anything against
Sounds like it, yeah.
Sounds like you said, I bought 2 pairs of shoes. Did you say you bought some Jews? And then all of a sudden
well,
it's
the
like
same
the
thing.
fuck I'm
It's
not
the same thing
booked
with the
anymore.
N-word. I have the thing
No,
with the
but
N-word.
the nigger
is that-
word gets they get away with that shit
Yeah,
constantly.
but I find that the word fag, I don't like it, but I hear people of all races and all straight men use it all the time. It was used very badly against me. I even had a hard time with the word queer.
Yeah.
And I have no choice. The college kids said this is what we are now, and that's it. And I had that
in,
word.
in college, I had to teach myself to stop saying the F word because, like, I grew up in the hood, and that was just like we throw that word around like a fucking football,
But I'm
man.
not allowed
and,
to say the N-word. Not that
No,
I
no, I get
want
it.
to.
I get it. Yeah, yeah.
And
Jason,
though
you
I
really
did
shouldn't
say it
say
a
the
lot in
N-word.
my hotel room when I was practicing for Birth of a Nation, and the maid knocked on the door. She said, "What's going on there?" I said, "Nothing. Just a lot of Republicans talking."
It's the RNC.
But I think that the fact is that not all people understand that black people feel that they're the only ones that can say that with an ER or an AS on the end of it, and they don't understand the lineage and they don't understand the whole history of the word. So when you use that word without a context in front of other people, you are running the risk of people really
I know, but
misunderstanding you.
you got to look at it from this situation. Even with the reason I'm bringing Ruben into this is because Ruben has the double sword of it. You have the I'm black
Yes.
and I'm Haitian, so there's a stigma of the blackness and there's stigma of the Haitianness. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Absolutely
Like
makes
they
sense.
think, and you have the stigma
of the terrible
a man
HIV they
and-
were making you responsible for it because it was instead of these people that were having this terrible problem, we sit there we
But it's a double-edged sword.
But
when
the
you say-
thing that blows my mind is people
All right.
can't wrap their brains around nationality and race are two
Right.
different things.
That's two different
Right.
things, exactly.
Pedro's black.
get-
I'll leave you guys with this. I'll never forget. I was having a conversation with my friend who's a Boston Red Sox fan, and he tried
Yo,
to
fuck the
convince
Boston
me.
Red Sox.
I can't stand him, but he tried to. But here's a
Fuck the
bigger point.
Boston
Here's a
Red
bigger
Sox.
point. That's a problem. This is a huge problem. He tried to convince me that Big Papi was not black.
That's it. Yeah, the Afro.
Because he spoke
Spanish
Spanish.
world, yeah, exactly.
And it's like, how ignorant are you?
is that a sports
And if
person?
you're, yeah, he's
Yeah.
a big.
Yeah.
And if you're just tuning in on Savage as Fuck here on Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy,
gotta wrap.
we're about to wrap
We're
up.
about to wrap
But
up
we were
this
talking
time.
about Mark Lamont Hill at CNN and the whole Israel-Palestine conflict here. Very deep stuff. Hit us up on social media if you want to keep these conversations going. Hit us up on the Facebook page,
Yeah, and you can make
Savage
comments.
AF, and we can go at this shit, man.
And you can make comments. I'm gonna post some of this stuff on the Facebook pages. So we're gonna definitely do that.
I should have brought this up earlier, guys, but we do have to get out of here, guys. One last time, I want to thank our two wonderful guests, Mr. Jason Stewart, Mr. Ruben Paul. Thank you guys for coming in through. One last time, let them know where they can hear you.
JasonStewart.com, STUART. Go to my website. Everything's there. You've heard me enough
There you go.
times.
That's
Bro.
it. That's it.
And then
Ru-
it's I am Ruben Paul on Instagram and on Twitter. And then at Ruby Tuesdays also on Instagram. And Ruby Tuesdays is RUBEE. That's how you spell Ruby Tuesdays.
Ruby
That's it,
Tuesdays.
y'all.
Every Tuesday night, Hollywood Laugh Factory, 9:30. Come through. That's what it is.
Hey, y'all,
Great
we are
show.
savage as fuck. We are out.
Deuces.